Okay, let's start the meeting for the Jamaica Selectboard for Monday, April 23rd. And I'm sitting in for Paul, he's away on vacation. Serve the board as the vice chair. So the first thing I do is call for any late additions to the agenda. I have one more liquor license came in this afternoon. Can we mind if I put that on?
Yeah.
And then we can approve the April 9th Select Board meeting minutes. Which
Only thing I just see is, oh,
Go ahead,
sorry.
what's
I just see a typo at the very end. It's a simple the shift key instead of it said it was right hand parenthesis versus the 9.
She was
It
just
looks like a happy smile face at the meeting.
just trying out all of the punctuation that's on there.
Yeah, this is some other face things. I'll make a motion to approve them.
Second.
Approve the minutes of the Mondays, April 19th.
all those, is there any discussion about the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, those pass then.
Okay.
Number 3 is to approve the timesheets for the town office, listers, highway, and transfer station. We'll do that after the meeting, along with number 4, signing the select board orders. And we have a couple of excess weight permits. I've looked them over. If you guys want to look them over, I think they're all right.
That's liquor.
I don't know if we really need to make a motion, but we've been doing that, so stay the course. If you like them.
These people are aware that of the bridge?
Yeah, it's on the wood
But
plank.
see, the sticker should be
Stickers
on there.
There's a sticker on there.
Okay.
Is there another one?
Yeah, it's on the side here. Did you see that one?
Thank you. No, you handed out, that's liquor.
Oops, sorry.
That's fine too.
Good, you don't have to look at that later on.
These guys got it all broken down. I'll make a motion to approve the 2 overweight permits.
Right, one from Miller
One
Construction.
for Miller Construction and the other for, was it
Carlton.
Trucking.
I'm hesitant to second.
I second.
All right,
Did you say
any
that?
discussion about that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? All right, I'll sign those as the road commissioner later. If I don't, remind me, please, Madam Clerk.
I will.
And we have a couple of liquor licenses, one for, let's see. This is for the 3 Mountain Inn for first-class hotel license to sell malt and vinous beverages. We'll look that over. Did you look at this one? And then there's another one for D&K's Jamaica Grocery.
Do they sell liquor there? Do they
Yeah.
sell liquor at,
Wine
no,
and
I'm
beer.
saying liquor
I
at
believe they have a full bar.
3 Mountain Inn? Okay.
Yeah, they do have a full
I
bar.
thought they did. I've been in for a while.
And I think D&K is a number 2 license, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't show the difference on the two. It doesn't say anything different about, like hard
Maybe they just
liquor.
do beer and wine now, I don't know.
The last party I was at there,
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
I guess that license would just be wine and beer. So
Or maybe that's a
not-
separate license that
Right.
is coinciding with
Now, I think hard liquor is a state license.
Oh, okay.
It still goes through this process though?
I don't think we collect a fee
Well,
on
these, we collect the fee for the state, though, through the town needs.
But they're the ones who have to approve, I believe.
I think there's a difference in the number of the license. One,
Sorry about that.
that's out here, isn't it? Oh, is it? I think one is the big full one, and number two is the beer and wine. Am I right?
Since I've been on the board here, I've never seen a license say anything about hard liquor on it.
Oh,
Maybe Joel's right.
because I always thought that they were numbered.
One is for sales and one is for serving.
One's on and off, one in and off premise, right?
And there's
And
two,
then there's a class 3 license that is liquor.
Okay.
somebody wanna,
Make the motion, I'll make the motion to approve the class 1 license for Green Mountain Inn and the class 2 liquor license for D&K.
Second.
okay, is there any more discussion about that? All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Is there any opposed or abstentions? Okay, we'll have to sign those at some point. And just some information, I guess I'd have Judy
Yeah.
speak to about that.
Last meeting, we had decided that we were going to try to do the hazardous waste collection at the transfer station on the 19th of May. And when I got a phone call from Kristen, who is the person down there running it, she wanted us to change that to sometime in June, and her recommendation would be June 9th. I really don't see any conflict of interest or anything around that. I did learn a little bit more. Each car is charged $5 for whatever. I mean, you can stack it up to the ceiling
Okay,
and bring the hazardous waste in. And there will be a lot of flyers around to indicate what actually fits into the category of hazardous waste. Other than that, that's the change that we've got to make.
okay,
The second thing I just wanted to briefly say is that our regular attendant has been out, and we have Dimitri Soshin in, maybe have seen him up at the transfer station. He's one of the new people that we just voted in as a substitute, and he's doing a great job.
I
And
have to
it's
concur with that
nice.
too, I was out there on Saturday, and
You
he's
were?
pleasant and
Yeah.
just.
He's just kind of fitting right in, so
Yeah.
I'm really pleased to see. Thank you, both of you, for being up there, because I was away over the weekend. I tried to call him, but I didn't get an answer there, but I knew that he was outside, which is where he needed to really to be, so. So I think things are working smoothly. I have no idea when our regular attendant is returning, so we'll find that out.
okay.
Okay,
I talked to Dimitri today,
did you?
yes, and I was, whatever we were talking about must have been exciting, because I started to throw cardboard into recyclables. And he told me I couldn't do that. Oh my God, of all people. And I asked him not to tell you.
No, actually, he did tell me, but he didn't say he didn't give me any name.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
That's cute.
I was in the office and I brought him up a check
Uh-huh,
and some time sheets, and I said that
Good.
Judy will be getting a hold of you about whatever's going on.
yeah. So I'm really very, took the load off my shoulders. He actually, on last Wednesday, what happened was I got a phone call from Sarah saying nobody's there, and there's a line of 6 people.
Right.
And so I got up there in about 10 minutes, and then I gave him a call, and he came right down. He was there within about 15 minutes of my phone call, so it was really great that he was able to fill right in and things just went in normal smoothness, so.
He
you
told me today how many people were there every day he was there.
Uh-huh.
They seem to be doing okay
Yeah,
with it. That's great.
okay, so-
All right, is that it?
Yes,
For that?
that's it, thank you.
All right, and my apologies to Rebecca, because it looked like I should have added you, or we postponed it, but I would have. So anyway, you're on.
Right, yeah, it's on there.
Excuse me?
It's number 8.
That's it.
Thank you. I'm not gonna take a lot of anybody's time. So I had previously sent some information about the Vermont, the climate action communities and the climate action pledge. And I just wanted to talk very briefly about what that involves. So as part of the Vermont Climate Action Network, and this one can actually be for the files. As you all know, Vermont has an energy goal of 90% renewables by 2050, and the updated enhanced energy plan that we're creating is to help further that goal. So we want to do our part to be able to, and have all the tools at our disposal to achieve these goals. So there is sort of a hierarchy of what is going on here. So the Vermont Climate Action Network is actually part of a national effort. And then the Vermont Climate Pledge Coalition is actually municipalities, it's businesses, it's University of Vermont, educational institutions, schools, nonprofits, all sorts of people. And then the Vermont Climate Action Communities, which is what I'm asking the board to approve us to be a member of, is the municipal part of that. So it's kind of hierarchical. But what it does, it gives us access to a lot of tools and guidance and an amazing website that I sent you links to that before if you had a chance to take a look at it. I hope you did. It's a way for communities to literally record every single action that people take as a municipality and also as individual residents. And by counting up all these actions, we are hoping to build momentum throughout the state and to increase participation in achieving our climate goals. There's absolutely no cost to the town to do it, and the Planning Commission is willing to take responsibility for publicizing it and for hosting workshops, things like that, whether it's like a weatherization workshop or information on, say, funding sources for getting your furnace replaced or repaired or something like that. There's so much out there that we can take advantage of, and this just gives us the tool to do that. So what I'm hoping is that you will authorize Jamaica to participate in this. And I had actually a template, which is possibly over here, that, all right, I have way too much paper in my life. You know, you go through this whole process of saying, all right, everything is going to be digital. And then, of course, there is the time when it comes that you need a piece of paper, and that it's not part of that. So I don't actually have it now, but I do have a template that I can send to you, and I would hope that it's actually formed out with Jamaica's names and spaces for everybody's signature. If that would be something that you could vote on or take under consideration, the Planning Commission would be very grateful, because it would make our job easier. And it would be folded in as part of our updated energy plan. And it would just be one of the tools that we can use to achieve our goals. So,
Question I have.
questions? Yeah,
I should have,
yeah.
could you please introduce yourself to the camera and
Oh,
what
I'm sorry.
capacity? I didn't ask.
I'm Rebecca Ohm. I'm Chair of the Jamaica Planning Commission.
Thank you.
And this is all about our enhanced energy plan that we're working on.
So I see here where it's asking about, we're pledging to reduce our greenhouse emissions by
Mhm.
26 to 20%. I mean, we're pledging, it's a voluntary thing, there's no sanctions if we don't
Absolutely.
make that. for
There
something.
are no sanctions, right, there,
Okay, so we're just saying, it's more of just putting forth the support behind, if we want to
Exactly.
do this, that the town supports more
exactly.
efficient and less emissions.
And one of the things that they found as they've, so some communities have been part of this for up to 9 months or so. It's been less than a year than it's all
Okay.
been part of. And what they're finding out is that when they actually publicize this tool and publicize the individual actions, and it's all anonymized, you don't have to say, so-and-so did this, or, it could be, I have some examples here actually. So it could be X's house in East Montpelier, Vermont, replaced exterior bulbs with LEDs and efficient lights. That's the kind of thing that it builds up and you get points, and it makes your community look really good, and it also maybe sets up a little bit of a competition
Yeah.
for other small communities. And even though we're small, we can still do our part. I think that's really the philosophy behind this. And if people see, I actually envision working with school children, maybe, or parent groups at the school, maybe getting households involved in doing this, saying, hey, we did this, we did this, we did this, so. And it doesn't cost anything.
I read your email, but it
Uh-huh.
had a number of files in it, like 4 files, like I just got.
There was a lot of information. Oh, that was actually the last one tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
That was actually just for your information. That was regarding the updated energy plan that we talked about at the last select board meeting. And so in between last select board meeting and this one, Marion Major of the Wyndham Regional Commission actually got back to us with comments on our plan, and basically saying that we have an awesome start. We have a few details to actually flesh out in terms of the policy part of it, and also taking into account the discussions, the points that were raised at the last select board meeting. We're going to flesh out those areas as well. And then we'll have a revised draft that we'll put on the website and distribute to all of you and open it up to the public so that we can get more input. We have a lot of lead time here. It was one of the advantages of starting as quickly as we did on all of this. We took advantage of Wyndham Regional's assistance and help when they had time to do it. And Chris Robbins and I went to several of the regional meetings about that. So we have a really good running start.
Isn't it October or November?
It's actually July 1st to be approved by the Wyndham Regional Commission, and after that it goes to the state. But again, I think that is the date that is recommended, and we want to do that because we want to achieve not just due consideration, but enhanced consideration, so significant.
Right.
So we want to be in the best position possible in order to do exactly what Jamaican people want to do with our land and our energy. So, are there any other questions?
I just see a typographical error.
Oh, okay.
Unless I'm reading it wrong.
In
Number 3, pledges to reduce.
Oh, you know what? I think I actually gave you the template.
Yeah.
I
so
did.
I don't have that.
Okay. That I probably can take responsibility for that because I did everything, and I will revise it and resend it to you. Actually, I'll just give this to you for your consideration right now. Sorry. Like I said, too much paper.
Tell me, I know all that.
Oh, this is not the one I was looking
Right. Judy, that just means that you were extra special tonight. And I wanted to make sure that you had all of the information, so. But I'm not really playing favorites.
Actually, that's a lot easier to read than this one.
Yes, well, the one that I gave you first is the one that I actually modified from their template, so. I just actually made it a little simpler from what they had suggested at the state side.
Okay,
Wonderful.
thank you.
And I can give you a revised copy to eliminate the extra word.
Okay, so we, according to that, we had to vote on it.
You do have
According
to
to this,
vote on
we
it,
don't.
but
We're
that's
not
for
voting.
us
Right.
to actually be official and for me to actually like get on the website and start putting in data and stuff. It has to be approved by the legislative body, and that would be you.
I'd say we move forward with it, and
Yeah.
I make,
Of this
I'll make the motion that Jamaica become, or, I don't know if that's the right word, a member of the Vermont Climate Pledge Coalition. Is that right?
Climate Action Communities.
Climate Action,
Which is part of the Vermont.
the Climate Action Communities.
Yeah, Climate Pledge
I
Coalition.
know which level we were in at.
There are way too many committees,
Yeah.
communities, coalitions, and
What's another word that starts with C?
I know.
I will second the motion.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion?
Is there much difference between that and the other one that you guys got?
Well, this,
No, that was, I had actually,
I haven't even
because
read this.
this was the informational sheet. I think this was actually part of what I originally sent you like 4 weeks ago when we first started looking at that. It's just another copy.
I have just a question. How soon do you have to have this?
There's really no deadline. I mean, what this is just one small part of
Right.
all the tools in our toolbox, basically, to achieve our goals for the energy plan.
And then is there another question? Is there a town level participation? I mean, this is all kind of a community level, each of us personally, but then does the town also?
This is so that the town itself can participate. Individuals can participate, but the town, as I understand it, needs to already have participated.
No,
And
actually,
then-
I'm sorry. I was thinking though, is there a pledge that this building, we change the
No,
light bulbs? I mean,
no,
is there
there's-
that level of town participation
There's
also?
nothing, so there are different
I mean, that's just an
kinds
example.
of
I mean,
municipal actions. One of them might include energy audits, which I know that previous town plans have actually recommended, and I think they've undertaken before. But we have changing situations and new buildings, so
right.
that would be
No, I
something
fully
that we could
support
do
that. I was just
again.
curious if there was
So
some-
it's actually literally actions like that. It's also implementing policy, which actually the whole process of our creating the energy plan compliant with Act 174 is also an action that can be included in this
Mhm.
as well. And then there's the residential and business engagement, getting people and businesses in town participating in workshops, distributing information about financial assistance for completing weatherization or heating projects, things like that. So once we're in this network, we have literally kind of a pipeline of information that can help people save a lot of money.
Mhm.
I would like to make a suggestion. Not that I have anything against it, but I would like to really sit down and have a chance to read this before we go ahead and vote. And so I would like to postpone it, if possible, to our next meeting.
Well, do that. Is there any more discussion? Because we'll have to vote on motion on the table, right?
I believe that's all I have to say.
I kind of agree with you about, I'm see the harm in it, it's skimming over it.
Yeah, that, I
I'd
don't
like
want
to
to just,
read.
yeah.
I'd like to read the other things you sent me that I just got.
Oh,
I
that,
know it's probably different than.
it is
this.
different, yeah. This is a holdover from, I guess, a month ago when actually, I think when Greg was still on the planning commission, we had voted as the planning commission that it would be a good idea to join the climate action communities.
Right. Seeing it, I mean, more or less that it's voluntary, but it's also, there's no, I mean, there's, for better or worse, there's no accountability. I mean, it's all
Right.
to help us.
It's a
Learn,
tool
a
to
tool.
get more engagement in
Yeah.
fulfilling the goals. That's really what it is.
One of the cars that are sitting in my driveway, I had to pay a $1,700 gas guzzler tax on it. And it gets way better mileage than my truck. So
I'll be darned,
I'm hesitant about some of these, I know it has nothing to do with this, but
yeah.
where they get these emission guidelines from, but I know, I understand what, I get the gist of this, but we can vote on it.
I mean, the state guidelines already are kind of arbitrary. I mean,
Right.
what their goals are. I mean, it's good to have them, but to say is 90% achievable or 80% or how do you measure it is going to be difficult too.
By 2025.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we're trying very hard to do in our energy plan, and I know we talked about it at the last select board meeting too, to really keep it real and not to put anything in there that isn't realistic. There's a lot of language in there about making sure that whatever we advocate for, that the technology is affordable and it's available. And that's one of the planning commission's job, I think, this year and for the next 20 years probably, is to be the body that actually receives, stays up to date on all of this information and disseminates it to the people in town that are going to be needing it and using it.
So run that by me again, and it was sort of kind of in the town plan or suggested that.
No, I mean, it wasn't specific to the town plan, but we had talked about it a little while ago at the planning commission level, to bring forth this. It wasn't refined yet until Rebecca kind of refined it. I think that's what you're commenting on. The other part of it is the state goals for 90% renewable are somewhat arbitrary. I mean, I think what you just said and what Chris has done a good job at putting into the energy plan is that some of this may be not possible. I mean, based on today's technologies. I mean, we gotta wait and see what comes, and some things will become most things will become much cheaper, but we don't know how quickly, and we don't know how likely it is. Somebody's not gonna go replace their boiler in their house if they're burning wood all the time or something like that, just because it doesn't make sense.
But even in the interim, if there are ways that we can tap into low-cost loans or even grants to help people update their heating equipment, even in the interim, that is actually part of the process, the step forward that we can to achieve energy goals. It's never going to happen just overnight.
Right.
It's always going to be kind of a long haul, really.
And if I get this right, this is not committing us to agreeing to the goals.
No.
This is just saying that we're participating as gathering information from the town level, all voluntary, to say, try to flesh out best practices or what it might be, and kind of say, help each other. Maybe it kind of becomes a little bit of a challenge.
Basically, the town supporting it, basically. So
It's just saying that we-
residents will say, oh, the town supports it, so we should support it.
That's really what the body that is sponsoring this at the state level, they don't want planning commissions to go off on their own saying, hey, we're gonna do this. They need to have the legislative body of the town to say, okay, we think this is a good idea, go for it.
Well, what is the motion? Did someone make a motion?
There was a motion.
Greg did.
Could you read it back, please?
Greg makes a motion for Jamaica to become a member of the Vermont Climate Action Committee, and it was seconded by Tom.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm gonna sit out on it.
You're gonna abstain?
Yeah.
Now, I think that passes with a
Yes.
3 out of 4 vote.
Yeah,
I think this also allows us to.
yeah, as I said, I haven't had a real chance to look at this and what was on, the computer.
And that would be
to see.
totally different, I mean, what was on the computer, I mean, I didn't read it either, I mean, they're related, but it's not part of
Right,
this.
yeah, what I sent today
Well-
was just really a follow-up to the last select board meeting. It has nothing to do with the climate action communities.
Okay.
So that's 3 in favor, 1 abstaining. And as far as I know, on a 5-member board, I think that
That will
passes.
pass.
Thank you. And
Thank
also,
you.
I'm happy to come back at any point after we get a little more experience with this and demonstrate it maybe, to show you how it works.
And this just kind of says we're blessing a framework, it
That's
doesn't
all.
say what we're gonna do within there.
You don't really have to do anything, it's basically
Yeah.
the planning commission that's going to be doing it.
So you'd like us to sign this, and
Yes,
would you take the one that's,
you can.
I'm all right with
It's-
it, I'll just scratch out
Okay, that's.
one more.
And thanks to Judy Sharp Eyes for signing that. Sometimes even proofreaders need proofreading.
Yeah,
It's easier to proofread someone else's.
Oh,
work.
absolutely.
not.
Yes.
It's like you look at your own, you're like,
That's
that's perfect,
perfect.
then you look at everyone else's.
It's not on a,
I know proofreaders who read it backwards.
I've heard of that. too.
Yeah, they don't read it as if you're right or reading.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
next thing on the agenda isn't on the agenda, but I expect it should be, is public concerns. Is it on there? Are there any public concerns? Hi.
I have public concern. I'm Dan Cummins, and I was wondering when we could update the website for the new select board members. Like, we've still got, the other select board members on there, and you guys aren't on there, so I think
Right.
that should be done. And the other one was, can we put the select board agenda, on the website? Say, I think we talked about it maybe before, like the Thursday before the prior meeting, or Thursday before the meeting.
Does it go on there?
Yes.
On the, like after we're done Thursday at 3 o'clock,
Yeah.
it goes on the town website?
You do Paul.
Because I was just looking at, today before I came down.
Oh.
One for the 9th was on there, but not today.
So,
Today's is on there, it was just late.
Okay.
sorry about that.
Okay.
And the same thing with the minutes and everything too, once they're, I mean,
Yeah,
they're
they have
still.
to come out within X amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I speak to that for a second?
Sure.
Thanks. There are some changes that are happening right now in the legislature with the open meeting law, and it looks like it's going to be confirmed that there will only be a 5-day period between the time that a meeting happens and the draft minutes have to be posted, which is going to be a problem, I think, for some municipalities.
What is it now?
7.
I didn't know it was a day.
Yeah.
But that's been thrown around for quite a while.
It's
The 5-day, and
There's
a lot
only
of
2 weeks
people are
left in the
against it.
legislature, and it looks like it's not going to be changed anymore, so.
Because
The only exception to that would be public national holidays, so,
I think,
like 4th of
my
July.
personal opinion is when we're told to do it 5 days, then I guess we do it, but meanwhile, I think the 7 days is adequate.
5 calendar days? wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a Sunday meeting on
It
Friday.
counts- It counts weekends too.
Yeah.
So I think it impacts all small municipalities. I mean, you've got staff time to take into account, you have meetings at night, you have, volunteers doing other kinds of things.
And
It's definitely a hardship for a lot of
It is.
municipalities.
And that's why I know it's been
Yeah,
tossed around for quite a
yeah, there
while.
was a lot of debate about it.
5 days for the minutes? Is that what we're talking about?
Draft minutes.
Yeah, that's what she
Draft
is,
minutes.
what she is saying. Yeah, because we actually vote
So you
on
have to do
the
them
minutes the
Thursday.
following
And
meeting
it
to be covered.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
probably won't go into effect until July 1st. I just since you were talking about
Yeah,
permits, I thought, I just.
My theory is don't worry about it till we're told.
Okay.
But I mean, I think you're living up to that standard already, I mean, which is a great thing. I mean,
And I'm still learning, that was the minutes from last week.
Okay.
yeah.
Clerk's doing a good job.
It's not easy, there's so many
There's a lot of
details
pieces.
that are mandated at the state level that even very tiny municipalities have to comply with, and it's not easy.
Dan?
When will,
Does anyone, you have something else?
just for Dr. Flowers, when will the, that hazardous waste flyer be available?
I've got to get it first from Wyndham Solid Waste.
Okay.
And then when that does happen, we'll start to get it around. The reason actually it was changed from our date originally is that they were having some difficulty dealing with the company that was going to be actually picking up the goods from Jamaica. And it had to be, Kristen was unable to get the date that we had asked for. So
So would that be in the, like a mailing, or is it just gonna be?
yeah, I'm thinking that even though it costs a little bit money, I think if we can do that,
It would be good.
I think it's good for everybody instead of just posting it in town. So we've done that before, and it's, I think it's a good idea.
If it's on the website,
Be on the
it
website.
can be posted on Jamaica
Yeah,
05343.
we do that too.
Mhm.
But sometimes, like, our second homeowners are really not tuned into doing that kind of thing. So, this way they get it in their mailbox and look at it. So, good idea.
Has any of the board members got anything on their mind? All right, then I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I guess I made a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
No discussion about that?
I don't think there's an exception.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Anyone want to stay?
I'll stay and sign.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a sign of multiple.
Thank you.